Good afternoon, everybody. Happy Sunday. I hope you're doing very well today. It's a very rainy and stormy day here today. So if you hear a little bit of thunder rumbling, that's what's going on. And when the thunder rumbles, then Foxy and Jazzy kind of get a little icky and antsy about things. So you might hear a little yip going on, and they want their mommy at that point. But we will carry on. I first want to say that I am so very pleased with how the class is going so far. Your participation is exceptional. Your posts are great. You have good depth. You're bringing forth good information. The way you interact with each other, it is really a spectacular thing that you are doing in the classroom. Your assignments for Unit 2, I was very pleased with those. You can see your scores. You can see your feedback. You are off to a great, great start. So congratulations. You're doing great. Let's keep on this good path. So I want to go over this week with you guys the expectations for Unit 4, which is on entrepreneurship. And we're going to talk about that a little bit. So let me share my screen, if I can get that going. And we're going to go to PowerPoint. I'm going to share it. And let me get it into slideshow from the start. Okay, so we're on Unit 4, entrepreneurship. And we're going to talk this week. We're going to read and review the readings and resources. You are to actively participate in the unit discussion. If you wish to, you can submit a draft of your Unit 4 assignment, but I would suggest you do that pretty early in the week if you have it put together for peer review, and your peers will be able to give you feedback and say, I like this, I'm not sure about that, whatever feedback that you feel like you might need. And then you're going to complete and submit your Unit 4 assignment by Sunday at 11:59 p.m. So we have one discussion forum this week, and we're going to talk about entrepreneurs. And these are the three components that you should be covering in your post that is due when? Wednesday by 11:59. You are to discuss some of the noticeable traits of these individuals, at least 2 traits. Think about what type of business they own and talk about what makes that business better than some of the other organization ownerships for that individual. Address at least one entrepreneurship theory and how individuals could relate to it in business. So you're going to pull that from your resources. Make sure that you cite a reference in your discussion forum post. And one of the things that's a little more advanced in APA that you're going to start learning and need to work on, if you have a reference at the bottom of your post, it needs to link back to an in-text citation inside the post. So every reference at the bottom should have a citation within the post. I hope that makes sense. If you need an example of that, I can pull one for you and show you how I did it on some of my work that I've done. Okay? Your assignment, this is a continuation of your Unit 2 paper. That's why I wanted you to pick a business that you were interested in and that you knew something about so that you could carry on with it. You're going to be talking about your business or service and what you are selling or providing if it's a service, because you're not necessarily selling. You should explain how these items or actions benefit consumers and the product or service life cycle. What we mean by that is how often would the customer buy from you or use your service, or would the service or the product, how long would it last? So let's talk about the life cycle, let's say, of a laptop, a typical laptop. Life cycle of a laptop is probably 3 years maybe. I have a Mac, so mine is now 5 years old, and it's still going strong because it's a Mac. But I've seen laptops and PCs, by about year 3, year 4, they start getting a little bit obsolete. So that's what we're talking about. You will do a market analysis explaining why your business has a place in the market. So let's say I would start, try to think of something locally here that we don't have. I might start a, if I had the skill and the knowledge, I might start a Vietnamese restaurant here. We have Chinese food, we have Mexican food, we have the typical chain foods in this town, and we have a couple of local restaurants. But we don't have a Vietnamese restaurant, which is really unusual because there's a very strong Vietnamese community in New Orleans and in Slidell, which is about 20 minutes away. So I think I might do well here. So I would look at why I think that why the Vietnamese restaurant. serving pho or whatever would do well in this town. And part of the reason I might say that, I'll give you a little more about it, is because there are a lot of people who moved here after Hurricane Katrina. So there was a big influx from the south shore of New Orleans into the area that I am, which is north of Lake Pontchartrain. So some of that might flow over. So you can see what I'm doing for my market analysis. I should research my industry, the market, and my competitors in the area. And I kind of just did that in what I just said. Talked about there are no Vietnamese restaurants in this area. The other thing about this area is a lot of the restaurants close at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, so it's very difficult for working people. So you see how I'm putting myself into a niche in my market. So that's what you're going to do. The paper should be 3 to 4 pages of length, does not include your cover sheet and your reference page. And I will tell you guys, I was very, 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 very pleased with your APA so far. That you had your cover sheets, you had your papers aligned correctly, that you had the double spacing going. You guys are really off to a great start with your APA. Sometimes there's a high learning curve on that, a steep learning curve. But you guys seem to be getting it down pat, and you're doing great. On this paper, you should have 3 to 5 references, okay? So you'll notice on Unit 2, some of you lost points because you had 2 references, and to get to the highest level of exceptional, you needed 3. So for this one, I'm going to be looking for 3 to 5 references on your paper. And your references can come from the course materials, but for this paper, you're also going to go out and look at some of the demographics in your area. If you are running a, let's say, an after-school care, you're going to look at how many school kids are in the area and how many working parents are in the area. And you can find that from some of the census demographics. So that would be another reference for you. It's a good idea to do that. Go out and look at government information. And finally, this is the rubric by which I grade. I always grade by the rubric. This is provided to me by the university. And so we can make sure we're on the same page, literally and figuratively, that you know exactly what I'm grading you on, that I'm not doing anything that's subjective. It's objective. You can see I look at the grid, and that's what I go down, and that's what I give you the benefit of the doubt. And if I see it's not there, then I start moving backwards. I start at the top, I move down. A little different than some other instructors do it, but that's just the way I do it. This is the 85-point paper, and I expect you all to do very well on it. So this is going to be interesting, and try to make this a little bit fun. You're going to have, some work to do, but do something that interests you and make it fun. Finally, I found this lovely graphic, and it talks about an entrepreneur. And these are some wonderful words that describe an entrepreneur. And I love this: versatile. They look for opportunities. They're motivated. They are honest. They maximize. They act with integrity. They're resilient. They have self-belief. They are audacious. They are authentic, open, and goal-focused. So you might want to, if you're really interested in starting a business, I would print this slide off and I would hang it where you can see it and you can focus on that and think, this is what I need to be to start my business. So you guys are doing great again. I've said it about 12 times. You're doing great. I am enjoying every minute of working with you. If you have any questions, make sure you let me know. I've contacted you guys. You've contacted me through the Ask the Instructor board. You can text me. You can call me. Email me. I am available. I am your resource. I am here to help you. I'm here to help you succeed. So if you have any questions, let me know. You guys, let's have an awesome week this week. We're almost to the halfway point of the course, and we're just going to keep moving right along with great momentum and a lot of excitement. So you guys take care and have a wonderful day.